guys, my name is Patricia.
And my name is Alice.
And welcome to the nurse.
Oh, man.
I was waiting for you at the door. Okay, let's get it together.
Everything that I keep missing. Ooh. Pa.
What's up, guys? Stop.
Do the video with my head tilted.
Really?
We're supposed to come up with a script.
No, what do you mean script?
No more?
No. This is gonna be off the top of the dome, just out, whatever. We'll edit it, fix it. That's enough. What's up, guys? My name is Patricia.
And my name is Alice.
And welcome to the Nurse's Note. Alright, so today we're coming in with another installment of the Nurse's Note to talk about a topic that you guys asked about. First of all, we want to thank you guys so much for supporting these particular videos. If this is the first time you checked out this channel, my name is Patricia and this is my beauty and lifestyle channel, and I just so happen to be a nurse, and my sister is too. So every once in a while we come in, we talk about nursing stuff. So that's what this series is about. We have a separate email that we dedicate just for questions and comments and video requests, and that is the nursesnote@gmail.com. We want to thank you guys so much for all the emails and the love and encouragement you guys have sent us via email. I do want to put out there that we are a little behind on emails, so if it has been at least 2 months, please send us back another email because we're at least caught up that much. So please send it again just in case we didn't accidentally delete it or it got lost. So hit us up at the nursesnote@gmail.com. Alice and I both have access to the email, and so we both respond. Okay, I think it's almost 30,000 subscribers here on this channel, way more than I ever would imagine. So thank you so much for supporting all my videos, whether it be the Nurse's Note, reflection, hair tutorials, makeup tutorials, natural hair, extensions, whatever, wig reviews, whatever. I just want to thank you so much for the positive energy and the support. So now to the topic of today, which is night nurse
versus day nurse.
Yeah, this one's gonna be fun. Let's go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a background of like our history. I think we're good people to kind of talk about this because we both have worked night shift and day shift. So as of right now, I work day shift and my sister works rotating shift. So she'll go ahead and explain what that is.
Basically what it is we do our own schedules, but we're required to work day shift and night shift for the rotating shifts. I prefer to do a schedule of day shift and then a schedule of night shift just for continuity, but you can do like a day or two of day shift or a day or two of night shift on an entire schedule if that's what you prefer.
So basically it's like a mix of both worlds, right?
Because it's basically the hospital not taking the time to find people to just work a night shift because not as many people want to do it.
Right.
So it keeps like a balance so everybody does it.
Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the benefits of working night shift.
First number one benefit is it's more money. That's why a lot of people like to do it. It's appealing because a lot of places do have a shift differential. So if you work night shift, you can make a couple of dollars more. It can be arranged from $1 to...
I sure hope it's not $1.
Some places it's $1. $1 to $4, $5, $6, $7, depending on where you work. So that's the number one appealing thing about it, I would say, because you get paid more. Also,
I think that the flow of night shift is a little bit different than day shift. There are not as many interruptions, and overall there are not as many people on the floor. Most hospitals I see at night shift staffing is different, so nurses tend to have a little bit more patience, which means there are less nurses on the floor, and there isn't like a never-ending flow of doctors in and out. I mean, you do get a few between shift change to maybe about 11. After that, there aren't that many on the floor, and you don't have like PT, OT, you do have respiratory there, but you don't have, you know, speech therapy. You don't have all these extra folks trying to see your patients and getting in your way. So I would say that it's less crowded.
Right, it's less crowded. And kind of piggybacking off of that, because it's less crowded, I would say that it's a better learning environment for somebody who is a new graduate like we were starting off on night shift. I think that it's, you know, beneficial to start on night shift as new grads because it's less crowded. You're not fighting for space. You know, for computer space to chart. It's less interruption, so you can it's easier to find your own flow of how you do things, because when you work day shift you kind of have to change that up, but then you know, depending on whoever's around to see your patient at that moment. You might have something you need to do at that moment, but so you're either going to have to wait or you have to plan to do it early.
Right. So planning is different as far as the flow of your night.
Right.
That's the benefit of working night shift. So let's go ahead and move on to day shift. What's the benefit of working days?
Benefits of working day shift is that you kind of feel like you have a normal life.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
You can wake up at, depending on what time. My job starts at 6 a.m. Most places start at 7. So let's just say you start at 7. You could still wake up at 4 a.m. if that's what you like to do. Go to the gym, get that workout in, then come back, change, go to work, come back. If you want to do a little grocery run after work, you still have time and you're not really ready to crash and sleep at that exact moment. So you can still kind of get a little bit of stuff done after you get off of work. So you kind of feel like you're a normal person,
right?
not a vampire.
You're up when the rest of You're up when the rest of the world is up, and you're sleeping when the rest of the world is sleeping.
Right.
That's really the main benefit of working day shift, is you have a normal life. I mean, you have the same schedule as a night shifter, it being 12 hours, so it is a longer day. But when you come home, the sun is down and it's time to go to sleep. Like, it's like you're a regular person, not like a vampire, like she said.
Right. And I think another benefit is that the people you need for help are available for you.
Yes!
When you work night shift, it's difficult because sometimes the people you need are either sleeping or they don't operate during night shift.
Right.
So it just has to wait till the morning. There's a lot of waiting involved. During the daytime, it's like, oh, you need to call the doctor. Bam, either he's here or he's rounding or he's awake, so you can call him and it's a quick response.
He's in the hospital or
he's in the hospital somewhere. The social worker is there. If you have an issue.
Discharge planning is there. The manager is there.
Managers help other people, more staff.
Yeah,
to help you out.
Definitely, for sure. I can't think what else is good about working day shift. You know what it is? I think day shift, the benefit of working day shift is you see very easily the whole picture. Do you think so? Mm-hmm. I feel like you are more involved in the management of the care, because you're dealing with the social work, you're dealing with families because they're there, you're dealing with discharge planning, so you're involved in planning this person's discharge. As opposed to night shift, you don't really discharge that many people. By the time you come back in the at night, they gone. You know what I'm saying? Or they're on their way out. So you're not really involved in that part. Even physical therapy comes back and gives you a report of how the session went with the patient, so you can kind of see how they're progressing. I think you really get this total view of your patients that's past just passing meds, that's past addressing pain. You know what I mean? Right. I really feel it's more of a comprehensive view of your patient.
And this doesn't go for everywhere, but a lot of times working day shift does mean a smaller patient load than working nights. And
not everywhere.
But that could be beneficial because you can be a little bit more involved with your patient and see the bigger picture because you have a little bit more time to do so because of the smaller patient load, so you feel like you could do a little bit more for them.
For sure. So let's go into the cons. Let's go back to the cons of night shift.
Ooh, the cons of night shift is that it's at night.
Yes.
Honestly, and it's rough. If you are a person who finds it difficult to stay up at night, it's just rough.
Yes.
Anyway, it's really just rough for anybody.
It really just
people
is.
Like,
it's unnatural.
It's unnatural. Your body wants to sleep at night. For people are like, oh, well, you get used to it after a few months, don't you? And I'm like,
no,
you really just don't.
You never really get used to it. You tolerate it.
Right. You get used to the idea of it. It's like, okay, it's just something that you have to do. You just know you have to do it. So maybe you get used to that. But your body never really gets used to working at night because it's unnatural.
Yeah.
So
that's the main fault.
And it's rough because as soon as you get off work, you just really just want to go to sleep because you need to. Your body, it just crashes at that point.
Right.
And 12 hours is a long time. So after moving around and working hard and doing all that, by the time the 12 hours is over, it's basically bedtime.
Right. Another con is the bigger patient load. I mean, depending on where you are, it can be anywhere from 5 to 7 patients. That's if you work in the acute setting, if you work in the hospital setting. And a lot of times that can be quite challenging to be able to manage that many patients. I think the misconception about people in the hospital or about night nurses in general and about their patient load is that it's easier, therefore they can tolerate more patients.
They say, oh, people sleep at night.
People sleep at night. And
not in the hospital.
Not in the hospital. Think about when you're sick. You know, you're up all constantly. You're throwing up. You're in pain, so you can't quite fall asleep. You know, you just feel nauseous or whatever it is. You can't sleep. And these people are sick enough to be in the hospital. So generally, they're not sleeping, and there's more of them. You know what I'm saying? There's more of them, and yes, there may be less distractions, but I almost feel like it sort of weighs in the same. It balances out. You don't have as many distractions, you don't have as many family members there, but at the same time you have a greater patient load. So that's more people calling for your attention, more people that need pain medicine, more people to pass out meds to. So I really think that, you know, it's different. You need to have good time management no matter what shift you work, but I do feel like it's different when it comes to night shift because you have so many patients. Not only that, I would say across the board, night shift may admit more patients than day shift does.
They do, and it's because people come to the ER during the daytime most of the time, and they're there for so long. By the time they actually admit them, it's nighttime.
Yeah. So, and day shift discharges, a lot of times it happens later in the day. If you guys don't, if your unit doesn't have a cutoff for discharges, it happens later in the day. They're going home at 4, 5 in the evening, and if they get an admission, it's coming like 7 or 8 from the people who've been sitting in ER all day waiting for a bed or waiting for a decision on whether they're going to be admitted or not. So you have to not only have 4 patients but plan for 2 admissions, or 5 patients and plan for 1 admission. So you really have to manage your time well, making sure that all your meds get passed on time, that you address pain, because you're going to have to dedicate time to an admission, and then a few hours later may have to dedicate more time to another one. So I'm not saying that night shift you need more time management skills, but I do say it's different. It's different. So that's one of the cons, a bigger patient load.
Another con would be it's not for everywhere, but oftentimes it's not really staffed well at nighttime.
Right.
And also because nighttime has a high turnover rate, that's kind of contributes to the fact that they're not really staffed that well, because people don't want to work night shift for a long period of time because it is tiring and it's taxing on the body. So when you don't have a tech, or you don't have enough nurses, so you have to have a bigger patient load, or because somebody quits you have an even bigger patient load,
right?
It makes life really, really difficult. Because it's a lot of work if you have to deal with a lot of patients, and then you don't have the help that you need with it, having an assistant or a tech.
Now the cons for day shift. What do you think? Cons for day shift. It's busy.
It really, it is busy.
There's a lot of people. It's crowded. Golly, excuse me.
Somebody's already logged in here.
I know, right? Can I get in this computer? Oh my gosh, that was my biggest adjustment for day shift. Like trying to find a computer, especially if it's like change of shift. Doctors are here. So and so's here. This is here. PT's here. It's like so many people, and you come on the shift and you're trying to pass your meds. And I know when I was working night shift, it was like 7 to 9. But nobody come talk to me, nothing.
Right.
I am on med pass overdrive at that time. But during day shift, it's like, hey, is your patient available for this? And then there's something that you don't worry about on night shift, and that's meals. It's like you're trying to come in, the patient's like, oh, I'm eating. I'm like, so?
You want me to come back when you done?
Yeah.
It just throws you off.
As a night shift nurse, coming onto that and dealing with 3 meals and checking blood sugars and
and then covering them when their meal is there, so you have to be eyeing for their plate.
Yeah, it's busy. I mean, you have less people to worry about, but as far as patients,
it's busy. I feel like the phone is always ringing. It's always somebody.
Ringing.
The pharmacist is on the phone. The social worker's on the phone.
Yeah, lab is on the phone.
It's always something. It always kills me. It's like family member calls the first thing in the morning.
Yes, it's like I barely even know them. I'm just meeting them. It kills me too. You know what I'm starting to do? I don't know if this will be off or on the record, but I literally say, hey, can you come back in an hour? I'm just starting to get settled and doing my rounds and meeting my patients. Call me back in an hour. And I think that's really, really beneficial, because you need that time to get to know you. Because you're there, you're like, and then you're just kind of going from what report says.
Another con for day shift would be the fact that there is a lot of management there. Yeah. So it's just like, when you're working and trying to do your job, nobody really wants somebody looking over their shoulder, micromanaging. You kind of just trying to do your job. although we all want to do our job in the right way, in the best way possible, it doesn't really, sometimes it can be
nerve-wracking.
A little nerve-wracking and difficult to have somebody looking over your shoulder all the time. It's like, you know, it can kind of end up feeling like policing a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to tread lightly with that because, you know, we do need the management there, but it's kind of difficult having all of them there all at once.
Right, right. Okay, so which shift should you work? What kind of personality types? Let's start with night shift. The personality types that are good for night shift. It's so funny because at our first job we used to say, like, to certain day shift nurses, we used to be like, you seem like a night shift nurse, you need to come on to nights.
Right. So night shift people, like, you need to move on to days.
I know, right? And I think the night shift nurse is not as anxious.
Right, the night shift nurse is very independent.
Yes.
Because you can't call the doctor for every little thing when you work at night, because they will yell at you because you woke them up for something that's not important.
Right, right.
So you have to be very careful when, I mean, obviously if something's an emergency,
if it's an emergency,
call,
right.
Regardless, because at the end of the day, that's their job to be woken up. They signed up for that. However, you do want to be respectful, and if, you know, it's your job to be able to judge whether something is critical or not critical. Yeah. So, you know, you have to kind of tread the waters lightly with that.
Your critical thinking, I'm not going to say it's better, but there's a different tune to it, because you can easily divide critical from non-critical, emergent from non-emergent. I think that's a really good trait for a nurse, period.
A day shift person, they are the people who really thrive off of teamwork. Yes. Because they have more staff and they kind of, you know, have the resources that they have there. When you're working at night, you're kind of a little bit more independent.
Yeah.
For somebody who struggles to sleep during the day, night shift could be even more difficult because you're not getting enough sleep in general. When I first started, I can't do it now, but when I first started working night shift, I could work all night and then sleep for 7 hours, you know, when I get off. And it didn't hurt me as much to work night shift because I was still getting, although it's during the daytime, I was still getting enough sleep. Right. If you're not getting enough sleep, definitely work day shift. You don't want to kill your body just to get a few extra dollars an hour. Right, but if you're the type of person you can sleep anywhere, anytime, then night shift is for you. Maybe for you. For new grads, what would you recommend for new grads? For new grads, I would definitely suggest to start with night shift. And I say that because it is an easier learning environment. Getting a new job as a nurse is flustering enough on its own. Right. It's even harder to do that when you're constantly interrupted and you can't even find a place to chart when you need to. Right. Learn your own flow of how you do things, and then later on maybe go to day shift. Yeah. You won't ever see speech on nights. You won't ever see PT or OT on nights. You know, the discharge planner, and though you may have like an on-call social worker at night, you're not going to see her on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So I think, like I said earlier, that bigger picture, I think is good for new grads to get eventually, but you need to get your flow right. Right, get your flow first. Your time management. Get your skills first, you know, learning all that stuff. It's easier to do it at nighttime because it's just less crowded. Yes, then move on to days. So I think that's all we kind of had. I hope that was kind of helpful and that we answered your question on, you know, working as a night shift nurse, day shift nurse. Like I said, Alice works rotating. I work day shift, and Alice works ER. I don't know if I told you guys that she's an ER nurse, and you guys know that I'm a travel nurse. I work on an oncology floor right now, so that's different, and I've really enjoyed that. So yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions, definitely hit us up at thenursesnote@gmail.com, and this is going to be the question for this video. I want you guys to let us know down below, what shift do you work? If you are a nurse, do you work night shift or do you work day shift? How do you like it? What do you guys have to say, you know, about the things that we said in this video? If you are in nursing school, what shift do you plan to work and why? I think those are good questions to ask. So definitely answer those down in the comment section or hit us up at thenursesnote@gmail.com. We love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you guys are well and in good spirits whenever it is that this video meets you. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on our vlog channel to see us in between these
these videos. And you know, Alice is in LA with me, like she's here, guys. So check out all our foolishness, our traveling and all that in between these videos here on this channel. And you know, you'll see Alice every once in a while, even on my vlog channel, even though we're apart. So thank you so much for supporting this video. As always, I'll see you guys in another one. As always, God bless.